Krishna Prestaya Bodhale Shri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nindinamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachadi Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshtarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Okay, so the 7th chapter, we reached up to the 19th sloka. That is, now did we finish 19? Bahunam Janmanamante. Very important sloka. We have to do that, Prabhu. I think we finished this, right?
7.28, no?
We finished,
yeah,
yes,
finished this.
7.28.
Okay. 28. Oh, we have only the last part. So we had a breakout room? No. Just
We had for 7.28, we did breakout room, Mataji.
determination, no? We did that.
Yeah, explain the quality of those who can go to.
Oh, okay. So we have only the last. How come we fell? Did we finish this? Because there's only two more slokas left. 29, 30. Or we stopped at 28?
We stopped at 28, Mataji.
Okay.
I feel we stopped at 28.
We finished the breakout room now with 28.
Yeah.
I think there's only two more slokas. So we'll continue with chapter 8 also after this then. Because, yeah. So after chapter 8, we'll have our first open book question for module 2. Now we'll start with 29. After this, because there's only 30 slokas, and then we can go to chapter 8. Jara marana mokshaya mam ashritya yadanti te brahma tadvidu krishnam adhyatmam karma chakilam. Intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. Okay, so intelligent people take refuge in Krishna in devotional service. Okay, so yajandihi sumedasaha, they are called. They are very intelligent because they don't want to suffer in this cycle of birth and death. So devotion mixed with the desire of liberation from birth and death, that's called moksha kami bhakta. They want moksha, liberation. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't want it, even that. He says, Mama janmani janmani ishware bhavadar bhakti rahaidu. Right? Even liberation is rejected by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is already liberated. No? He is Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan. And why is he praying like that? That I don't want liberation. Okay, devotees can pray like that. Why is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying that he don't want liberation? He's already liberated, right? You got my question? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Shashtaka says, Mama janmani janmaneshare bhavatar bhakti rahedigi. Our life after life, I want only devotion. That means he is rejecting liberation. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. Now, why Krishna is already liberated? Why is he rejecting liberation? Yes? Yes, Shriya Mataji, can unmute.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, because through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna has come in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to show us how to love God instead of aspiring for other things like liberation, and that shouldn't be our desire. Our desire should be to serve God in the Goloka Vrindavan Dham, and that would be our desire, and not the liberation.
So he came, okay, you are almost close. Yes, Manjula Mataji.
Mataji, it is because in this form, like the Manushya Deha, what we have got, this is the only form where we can do Bhakti. So the Bhakti brings us very close to Krishna. So liberation is, we might go to different planets, but not to Krishna. But going to Goloka means by doing Bhakti only. So this form is very important, Mataji. That is why he doesn't want liberation. He wants to be born. If he's born again and again, he wants to do Bhakti.
Yeah, but he won't be born again and again. He's Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, no? That's my
Yes,
question.
Mataji.
So why is he don't want He's already liberated, no?
Yes, Mataji.
So yes, Shriya Mataji said, yes, he came to show practically how to do devotional service. He came in the mood of a devotee, right? He came in the mood of devotee, and he is praying to show us an example how we should pray. So he's showing us by example. He is not praying for liberation because he's already liberated. He's Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna nahi anya. There's no difference between Radha Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, both are same. But he came in a form of a devotee to show us practically how to do devotional service. So he's praying like that, so that giving us an advice like how we should pray. Okay, that is all high stage of praying like that. But then this is what it says. But some people, they want moksha. But we should know, when we start doing devotional service, moksha is already guaranteed. That is, it's already liberated. Then only you can be involved in devotional service. So they say Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi means refer to the Brahman conception of life. Okay. So here it is said. Yes, Sindhu Mataji, to add something.
Yes, Mataji. I didn't understand. Can you tell me in simple words why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said not liberated? Simple words.
He is already liberated, Mataji. Okay. So he don't have to ask for liberation, but he's showing us how to pray. He is showing us by example that this is how we should pray. So he is not asking for himself, like for our, like Arjuna asked questions. Arjuna was not asking for himself. He was asking for us, no? The questions in Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna already know. Like that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is already liberated person, or he is Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, but he's showing us how to pray. He's showing in a form of a mood of a devotee how we should pray. So that's why he's praying in that way, that even though he's already liberated, but he's showing us how we should pray.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Okay, so Aham Brahmasmi refers to Brahman conception of life, the stage of no birth, old age, disease, and death. This Brahman conception is also present in devotional service as described in this verse. One who attains a spiritual body becomes one of the associates of the Supreme Lord. And also says, Mam Ashritya, only Krishna conscious person can be really called Brahman and go to the Supreme Planet, because they have no misgivings about Krishna and they are actually endeavoring to reach Krishna's planet. So pure devotional service is compared to other paths. There are 4 kinds of impure devotees. So who are that impure devotees who try to reach Krishna? 4 kinds of impure devotees. Yes. They're not pure completely. Who are they? You can put in the chat, or you can. Yeah, this is one of the reasons, Suresh Prabhu, like why devotees reject liberation. That's because the happiness or the pleasure you feel in Krishna Prema, Krishna Bhakti is much, much more better than in liberation. Yes, that is there. Okay. 4 kinds of impure devotees. Who are they? We just studied 7.15 or 16 sloka in the same chapter.
Sense enjoyable.
Okay.
Aradhama and
Okay. They are not devotees, no?
Okay.
They are those who doesn't surrender to Krishna. This will be those who surrenders to Krishna, but they are not pure.
Oh.
You're almost close, like the previous sloka of that. Not previous, the next sloka. For the 4 kinds of people who surrenders to Krishna, but they Yes, Prabhu.
Arthasti jignasi gnani.
Good.
Artho,
So,
artharthi.
Artha, Artharte, Jignasu, and Jnani. Good. So these are impure. Why you call impure? Because they have mixed feelings. They have desires. Artho, Artharti. Chadurvida pajante mam jana sukridana orjana. Artho, Jignasu, Artharti, Jnani, Chapara Karshapa. So four kind of people who surrender to Krishna. Artho, Artharti, Jnani, Jignasu. When the Jnani is pure, like, and they can become pure devotees, or Krishna likes them, still these four kind of people are impure because they achieve their respective goals, and also gradually they can become Krishna conscious. And demigod worshippers will never reach the Supreme Lord because they go to the demigod planets. Yeah, still they want something from Bhakti. So in that way, it's like a give and take policy. That's not pure. Pure means Anyabhilasha, no other desire except to serve Krishna. So other categories were also known as the Brahmana, Adiputta, etc. Worshippers of Archa are those who meditate on the Lord simply for liberation from material bondage. The last sloka of this chapter says, Sadhibhutadi Daivam Mam Sadhiyajnam cha Yevituhu Prayanakale Apichamam Devi Duryukta Chetasaha. Those in full consciousness of me, who knows me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestations of the demigod and of all methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. So this is a connecting link to the next chapter. He's asking, Arjuna is asking, how can a devotee know Krishna at the time of death? They are in full consciousness of Krishna and know Krishna because they know Krishna as Adibhuta, Adideva, and Adiyajna, who governs the material manifestation, demigods, and principle, all method of sacrifice. Now, okay, so in the next chapter, Krishna says how to attain the Supreme, even at the time of death. And we see different examples. Okay. Now, my question is, okay, if you remember Krishna, you go back to Krishna. Amda kalesha mameva smaranitva kalaivaram. Or yam yam vapi smaranbhavam tejat ante kalaivaram. That's the next chapter says. Like, if we remember Krishna at the time of death, we go back to Krishna. But what happens to those who die in death or deep sleep? Yes. What happens if somebody dies in a deep sleep, or
If they were already in Krishna consciousness,
yes, Mataji?
if they were already in Krishna consciousness, then Krishna will protect and Krishna will take care.
Yeah. So if that means, how Krishna will protect and take care, that's what I want to know. Yeah, you're right. They are Krishna consciousness. Yeah, I'm asking about devotees. If devotees die at the time of deep sleep or in an accident, then as you said, if they are Krishna conscious, then yes. Yes, Manjula Mataji. Sindhu Mataji, who is that?
Yes, Mataji, as Mataji said, Krishna has said in previous sloka, I am not able to remember. He told like whoever does bhakti to him, for sure they are going to reach him. So Krishna is going to give the knowledge and the buddhi to reach him, and also makes the path for us. So alpam asya seva, even if we do little, we will be saved from the greatest dangers. So this is also one of the danger, no Mataji?
Yes, but how will they reach Krishna? You're right. They will reach. But how? They're not able to remember Krishna, but they are devotees. So they die in deep sleep or in accident. They go to an unconscious state. Sometimes devotees goes to coma, the brain death, or sometimes like a stroke. And then you don't remember anything, even not the holy name, you can't chant. Then, yes, Sindhu Madaji.
No, I don't know how to put it across, because if you are in Krishna consciousness, Krishna is always in the mind. So even if you don't remember, like, the moment you slept, or it's in the background. So, that gets protected. That's what I feel, but I don't know how to put it across.
Yes, you're almost close. Yes, but how do they go back? And Suresh Prabhu says, okay, they can start from where they left in the next Janma. That is for those who have not completed. But a pure devotee who have almost like 100% completed Krishna consciousness, but he's not able to remember Krishna at the time of death because of some medical reasons. Then, Shriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I've read it in Bhagavad Gita only that Krishna says that I am taking your charge. I guarantee you that I will myself come and take you back to Godhead. So
that
he
means, he himself, can you please unmute? Yeah, you're right. So he himself,
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, he himself will come and take us back.
in the sense, he himself will remember the devotee. Like you are not able to remember Krishna. Krishna says, I will remember you, or I'll come back. As Mataji said, I'll come. He may not come directly. He'll send his representative. Or as Mataji said here in the chat, Vidya Shruti Devitasi Mataji, he sends devotees around us, like association of people around you. Even though you are unconscious, or even though you are in deep sleep or anything, something happens, or in an accident, something happens, that there will be devotees around you who can chant for you, as Mataji said, around you. And this happens in the Bhakti Vedanta hospital, I think in Mumbai, where all the devotees are, the doctors are devotees there, and the patient, whoever is critical, they always have devotees around them chanting with kirtan. And I heard they have a small trolley in which they have this Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, and they go to every room in the patient, every patient's room, and they might be devotees or non-devotees, who's the patients, but they get darshan of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra every day. They get Mahaprasad, they hear kirtan. So in that way, even though they are not able to remember Krishna, Krishna remembers them. Jamala's pastime is little different, because Jamala didn't remember Krishna, but he did Nava Abhas. He chanted Narayan, that is son's name, but Krishna took it as his name. But that is kind of an Atnyada Sukriti, what he had. We'll come to that. So yes, so Krishna says, if you are a pure devotee and you are not able to remember me, I will remember you. That's what Krishna says. Okay, so that's what the link to the next chapter. So from this last sloka, there is a connecting link to the next chapter, saying that Arjuna wants to know how somebody can remember him at the time of death. So first, so the attaining the supreme, the first 4 slokas about Lord Krishna answers Arjuna's question, and 5 to 8 is about remembering Krishna at the time of death. I think this is very, very important part in our life. And in this, we'll come back to this. Okay, so first 4 slokas is about the question. Arjuna is asking the question and Krishna is answering. So what is he asking? Arjuna Vaja Kim Tad Brahma Kidatmyatmim Kim Tad Brahma Kimathyatmam Kim Karma Purushottama Adibhutam Chakim Proktam Adidevam Kimuchyate. Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is self? What are fruitive activities? What is material manifestation? And what are demigods? Please explain this to me. So these are questions which Arjuna is asking. What is Brahman? And the first 2 slokas is about the questions. Okay. The second question, sloka, is also he's asking. Adi yajna kadam ko atra dehe asmin madhusudana prayana kale chakatam niyo asi niyatatmati. Who is the Lord of sacrifice, and how does he live in the body of Madhusudana, and how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? So why is Krishna addressing Arjuna addressing Krishna as Madhusudana in this particular verse? You have to tell what is the meaning of Madhusudana and why Arjuna is calling him as Madhusudana here. Yes. Yes, what do you mean by Madhusudana? What's the meaning? And then why Arjuna is calling him as Madhusudana? Go to the second para, you'll get the answer.
Because he killed the
He
demon.
is the demon Madhu.
So,
He's called Madhusudana.
okay. And why is that in this particular verse? Yes, you're right. Madhusudana means killer of the demon Madhu. And why this term is used in this verse? This is a question.
So that Krishna might kill the demonic doubts.
Good. So the demons are compared to the doubts in Arjuna's mind. And since Krishna have killed so many demons, one of them is Madhu, and you're called Madhusudana because you killed the demon Madhu. Arjuna compares the doubts like demons in his mind. So he's like, I have a lot of demonic doubts in my mind. So you are Madhusudana, you are the killer of the demon Madhu. Like that, you should kill all the doubts in me. So these questions, which are the nature of doubts, should have been arisen in the mind of Arjuna, because Arjuna is a Krishna conscious devotee. And the doubts are like demons. So since Krishna is expert in killing demons, Arjuna addressed him as Madhusudana. This should be your answer for Bhakti Shastri question. Now, don't come to us saying that Mataji, I didn't get nice marks, that this, because if you do, you should not beat around the bush in Bhakti Shastri. Level 1, level 2, you can write anything near to the philosophy we pass you. But in Bhakti Shastri, you should be very specific. Why Krishna is called Achyuta? You should give reasons, the real reasons. What is that reason given in the purport, the Bhakti Vedanta purports? So that should be given. That is what Bhakti Shastri training is about. So when the question comes like why Krishna is addressed as Madhusudana, because Madhu is a demon and Krishna killed Madhu. He is called Madhusudana, and Arjuna have demon-like doubts in him, and the doubts are compared to demons. And since Krishna kills the doubts. Krishna kills the doubts. He is addressed as Madhusudana here. Okay. So these first two slokas is about the doubts, and the third, fourth he answers. Sri Bhagavan Vaja Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavo Adhyatma Muchyate Buddha Bhavo Bhavakaro Visarga Karma Samhita. The Supreme Personality of God said the indestructible transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and its eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. Action pertaining to the development of the material bodies of living entities is called karma, or fruitive activities. So what is Brahman? Jiva, right? Indestructible. That is the soul. That is Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi, you say, the transcendental living entity. We are separated from the material body. The soul is different from the body, right? So Brahman refers to the living entity, and Para Brahman refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Both are not the same, although the word Brahman is also sometimes used to refer to the Supreme Lord in certain context. Okay, so then he asked what is Adhyatma, the eternal nature or the impressions that accompany the Jivan and govern the body. Then he asked what is Karma. Karma means fruitive activities. So the fruitive activities of Jiva that lead to transmigration from one material body to another, it is a varied creation of material bodies by the force of material consciousness. Okay, so what is Karma? Karma means fruitive activities that leads to transmigration. Okay, so karma means fruitive activities. Okay, that will bind us. And he's asking that question, what is karma or fruitive activities? So Krishna says that it is that which binds us. So, and it leads to transmigration from one body to another. So what are the different types of karma, you know? Is there any types of karma? Yes, Shri Amadji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. It's Vikarma and
Yeah, Vikarma. Good. Vikarma means?
I forgot. Yeah, we've studied it before also. Akarma, Vikarma means something against scriptures or against our dharma.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, Vikarma. Okay, good.
And akarma means akarma means when suppose we are in Krishna consciousness and we are doing everything for God, so we don't get the sinful reactions of our karmas, and it becomes it cancels out.
Yes, that is akarma. Good. Akarma means no reaction coming. So vikarma, that is which is against the scriptures or against a godly thing. Okay, so akarma, vikarma. Next.
Akarma, vikarma, and I forgot the third one. Don't remember, Mataji, the third one.
Suresh Prabhu says about Nishkama Karma. Good. So what is that Nishkama Karma, Prabhu?
Akarma is what, Mataji?
Akarma is devotional service. Anything that is done for Krishna and it doesn't have any reactions coming. Akarma. Yes, Suresh Prabhu, without fruitive results. Good. So that is Nishkama Karma. You do the karma, but then you are not attached to the fruits of the results of the karma. Good. Then he is asking, what is Adibhuta? And Krishna again explains, Prakriti, the constant changing, Shara. Adibhutam Sharo Bhava, Purushasya Dhatidevam, Adiyatnyo Aham Evatra Dehe Deha Pratambara. O best of embodied beings, the physical nature which is constantly changing is called Adibhuta, the material manifestation. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods like those of sun and moon, is called Adideva. And I, the Supreme Lord, represented as the super soul in the heart of every embodied being, are called Adiyatnya, the Lord of sacrifice. Okay, so Prakriti, which is constantly changing, the physical world or the material body consisting of the material, that is Adibhuta. The Virat Purusha, the gigantic universal form, which includes demigods on the planets, is Adideva. And Paramatma, that is Krishna, as Paramatma is the enjoyer of all sacrifice. He is a super soul, he is Adiyatnya. And how is Adiyatnya known in the body? In the heart of every embodied being as a regulator, I inspire performance of sacrifice and other acts. And how to know Krishna at the point of death? Prayana Kale is the main subject of the rest of the chapter. So that's the last question, that how do we know you at the time of death? So next two slokas are very important slokas. That is 8.5 and 6. Okay. So other important points, he says in 8.1, Krishna is addressed as Purushottama. Why Krishna is called Purushottama? What's the meaning? Purusha and Uttama. Yes, what do you mean by Purushottama? Okay, you can fill the attendance form. Why Krishna is called Purushottama? Any idea? Yes, Manjula Mataji.
Mataji is the best of everyone. He is Uttama. No one can be compared to him, Mataji. That is why he is called Purusha. All the Purushas, he is the best.
Yes, but here why Arjuna addressed him as Purushottama? Yes,
because
Purusha
for all his doubts, only the best can answer him. So he has asked the right person the questions, and he is very sure he is going to answer and clear his doubts. That is the reason, Mataji.
So here in the first sloka, last paragraph, Arjuna Prabhupada mentions Arjuna addressed Krishna as Purushottama, which means he's putting these questions not to a simple friend, but to the supreme person, knowing him to the supreme authority who can give definite answers. So he's Purusha Uttama, who's the best among Purushas. So Krishna can definitely give the definite answer. So that's why he's called Purushottama. Okay, good. And Madhusudana, because we know, because Krishna kills the demon of doubt, and doubts are not expected to rise in the mind of a Krishna conscious devotee like Arjuna, but then it do come. Then Prayana Kale means at the time of death. That's crucial time, right? Whatever we do throughout the life will be tested at that time. It says life is preparation, death is like an examination. So indicates Arjuna's anxiety to know the position of Krishna conscious devotee at the time of death. So Kuleshegara Alvar in his Mukundamala Stotra, he sings Krishna Tvadiya Padapangaja Pancharantam Advaitame Vishutumana Saraja Hamsam Prana Prayana Same Kafavad Vada Pitte Kandovaroda Vido Smaranam Kutaste. This is Prabhupada's favorite sloka. He says, I pray that the swan of my mind may always sink down to the stem of the lotus feet of your Lordship, O Krishna, and be locked in the network. Otherwise, at the time of death, of my final breath, when my throat is choked up with kapha, how is it possible to think of you? Kapha, vata, pitta. This body is made up of kapha, vata, pitta, tridhatuka, the three elements, right? Mucus, bile, and air. Kapha, vata, and pitta. Okay. So when these three things are coming to the throat and choking us, we won't be able to chant the Lord's holy name at the time of death. So he's like, now I'm able to chant your holy name. So please take me now itself, because at the time of death, my throat will be choked up with cough and it's not possible to think of you. So difference between material consciousness and spiritual consciousness is that material consciousness, we try to load over material nature. That's called try to enjoy. We try to enjoy the results of karma. And because of that, we get different bodies. Spiritual consciousness means to serve the Supreme. The living entity is the marginal entity, because we can either go this side or that side. We are called Tadastha, because the living entity sometimes identifies with matter, sometimes with the Supreme Nature. So what happens when the living entity identifies with matter is takes any one of the 84 lakh species of bodies, and basis of transmigration is karma, and for elevation to heavenly planets, he performed yajna. Okay, so on the sacrificial altar, 5 kind of offerings are made into the fire. This is the action that results in a material body. Okay, in the first 4 slokas, it is said. But what happens even if you go to heavenly planets? When the merit of sacrifice is exhausted, the living energy descends on the earth in the form of rain. So this is how we take birth again. It says that the living entity comes in the form of rain, takes the form of grain, and the grains are eaten by man, and it's transformed to semen, which impregnates a woman, and thus the living entity once again attains the human form to perform sacrifice, and so repeat the same cycle. In this way, the living energy perpetually comes and goes on the material path. The Krishna conscious person, however, avoids such sacrifice. He takes directly to Krishna consciousness, thereby prepare himself to return to Godhead. So Krishna conscious viewpoint is avoid such sacrifice, take direct to Krishna consciousness and go back to home, back to Godhead. Okay. So here it is said that the living entity is the eternal individual soul. So we have our identity. It doesn't merge with the Lord. The living entity is eternal, fragmental part and parcel of Krishna. And super soul is Parabrahman. They are different. Okay. So what are the different reasons why Krishna is called Achyuta? According to the first chapter, anyone remember? Yes, Mataji.
Mataji is infallible, Mataji. He can never do wrong. That is why he's called Achyuta.
What are the other?
Hare Krishna Mataji. He's called Achyuta because he doesn't fall from his position.
What, Valji? Yes.
Mataji, because he doesn't fall from his position.
Yes, good. Position of what?
Like we living entities, we fall from a position. Even if he takes birth as Krishna, he still is God. He still doesn't lose his godliness.
Okay, that is one reason. He never falls, but Jiva fall down. But according to the first chapter, what are the 2 reasons why Krishna is called Achyuta? Senayoru payormathe ratam sthabhyame Achyuta. Take 1.21 or 22. What is the rest of shloka? Yes, Achyuta Keshav Prabhu.
Because Arjuna had asked Krishna to draw the chariot in the middle of the battlefield. So the meaning of Achyuta there was described as the infallible one, which means though Krishna, the Supreme Personality, is still listening to the order and the command of Arjuna, that doesn't mean that he becomes the servant or for that matter, he falls down from his supreme position.
Yeah, very good. So that means even though Krishna became the chariot driver of Arjuna, he doesn't fall from the position of being the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He doesn't fall in the sense he's still the Govindamadi Purushama. He's still the creator, the cause, Sarva Karana Karana. He doesn't become just a driver because he took that role of Parthasarathi. So that's one reason. Second reason, okay, that's one reason. Yes, Prabhu. What is the second reason? There's one more reason why Krishna is called Achyuta. These are all Bhakti Shastri questions. You should be knowing it. Yes, Shriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I remember when we read that chapter, you said that because Krishna, for his devotees, just for his devotees, he becomes a charioteer, or he even become a servant. I mean, just shows it off, but he doesn't fall from. It doesn't mean that he is a charioteer itself. He just does it for his devotees.
Yeah, there's one reason. And second is, yes, he doesn't fail to reciprocate to his devotees or doesn't fail to protect his devotees. So these are the 2 reasons. And the third reason here says that he never falls. Okay, as Mother said, yes, we fall down, we take material bodies, but Krishna, when he descends, he come in the transcendental form. The Jiva will fall down, but the Lord doesn't fall. Is Achyuta. But then there's an irony here. When the pastime happened of this fruit vendor, and everyone remember this pastime when the fruit vendor came like Govinda Damodara Madhavedi, she was selling fruits, and then we know how her basket became full of gold and diamonds when Krishna gave just few grains. But Krishna was taking so much grains in both of his hands, and he was so small that all the grains grains started dropping out. And then it is said, the commentaries by Acharyas, that he is Achyuta. He is the one who's infallible, or doesn't fall. But from the infallible, the grains fall. Okay, from infallible Krishna, the grains fell from his hand. So that is just for this baby pastime that happened. So 5 to 8 is about remembering Krishna at the time of death. Very, very important slokas in this chapter. It's from sloka number 5 to 8. 5 says, Andakale Shimami Vasmaran Vakale Varam Yaprayati Samat Bhavam Yadi Nashtatra Samsheha. And whoever at the time of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attain my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Mam Eva Smaranam. He says, Mam Eva. Why did Krishna use that word Mam Eva? He says only. You don't have to remember anybody else. Krishna says only. Okay, at once attains the nature of the Lord. And he's remembering me alone. Okay, this verse stresses the importance of Krishna consciousness. Whoever remembers the Lord Krishna at the time of death will attain the supreme destination, Krishna's nature. And most effectively means for fixing the mind on Krishna is Harinam Sankirtan. So Krishna consciousness means purest of pure, because of constant remembrance of the Supreme Lord who is purest of pure. Smarana means to remember. It is not possible for an impure soul to remember Krishna at the time of death. So we have to purify by practicing remembering Krishna. If not practice, one cannot remember Krishna at the end of his life. So we cannot be Ajamila. Right? And everyone, Shastri, like we are so sinful all over the life, and the end we call Narayan and we get liberated. No, Ajamila was not liberated. He got a second chance. What is the second chance Ajamila got? I hope you all know the story, so I'm not going into deep of that story. Yes, Manjula Madhuri, what is the second chance Ajamila got?
Mataji, he woke up from his bed and he he realized what mistake he did. So he left his wife and children, like the prostitute who he had married, and he went to Haridwar, and he again did his devotional service. After reaching the, becoming a devotee only, after doing all the devotional service, then only Vishnu Dutas came and took him back to the liberation part, Mataji.
Yeah, so that is, okay, so that is what happened. Right, so he went to Haridwar and then did devotional service. So that part nobody knows. Everyone think he got liberated. No, Prabhupada have written a book called Second Chance for that. He got a second chance, right? So, and he came, he did devotional service and went back. Now, how to practice remembrance? So we have to live in the mode of goodness and life dedicated to the service of Krishna, always thinking of Krishna. Constant, instant chanting of the holy name. Incessant chanting should be there, right? Smarana means remembering. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Remembering. Remembrance of Krishna is not possible for impure soul who have not practiced Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada mentions here, we should chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, which is very essential. That's the process of remembering Krishna in Kali Yuga. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also advised Rinatapi Sunichana, Tarorapi Sahishna, to be tolerant like a tree. And so many impediments will be there for a person who's chanting Hare Krishna, but we should not stop there. This is very difficult to apply it in life. We can tell theory, but then to really practice in life, it takes a lot of realization, takes a lot of time. They're all getting purified, so we all have anarthas, but then to really become like this, it's very difficult. But then slowly it will come by Krishna's mercy and Prabhupada's mercy. And again, he says one should continuously chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, so that at the end of one's life, one can have full benefit of Krishna consciousness. So this is a purport. This is a small, very small purport. Now, is there anything striking in this purport? Any comments on the purport, on the sense? What do you feel something very striking in this purport? Or something like to be noted? Very short purport, but something is very significant here. Yes, Manjula Mataji.
Mataji, remembering is very difficult, Mataji.
Yeah, remembering difficult. Yes, practically, yes.
Yes,
it is difficult because we are in karmi world and so many things. When we chant, we remember. And when we do devotional service, we remember. But what about the other time? Yes. Yes, Suresh Prabhu, chanting. Okay, given importance. The Bhakti Vedanta purport, what is that which is very striking from Srila Prabhupada's point of view, in the sense when he Yes, Prabhu. Shilakesha Prabhu. In his
Tolerant
class.
as a tree.
Tolerant as a tree, yes, that is important part. No, in the purport, when he wrote this. Okay, Shriya Mataji, yes.
Mataji, Prabhupada said that we should start our journey from the very beginning of life and should not leave it to the end, where the body is no longer helping us to chant and do devotional service.
Okay, yes. So all that are specific features, but here what I noticed is Prabhupada have completely written the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, not once, twice. When we type in WhatsApp or maybe in mail or something, we just say HK. And we can't even type Hare Krishna, just says HK and Pamo or something. Please accept my humble obeisance, something like that. All glories to Prabhupada, AGS. It's all like, see what Prabhupada have done. He could have just said one should chant constantly and incessantly chant Mahamantra Hare Krishna, or he could have, again he repeated, one should continue to chant, and the whole mantra is repeated in just a very 10-15 lines purport. Like, it's just a very short purport, but when Prabhupada repeated the whole mantra, because he's giving the specific importance of that mantra. What if somebody takes the book and never read Bhagavad Gita in his own whole life, and he just takes this page, this purport, and he starts reading? At least Prabhupada's like twice he reads the mantra, right? Twice he'll be able to go through the mantra or repeat the mantra and get used to it, some kind of an Atyanda Sukruti. So Prabhupada have, as an Acharya, showed us the way that how we should be chanting the holy name, like completely, not like for, and from the very beginning, one should start doing it. But it's okay. Even if we are not able to do at the beginning, like many of us are not born in the moment. If we are born to Krishna conscious parents, then yes, from the very beginning we can. But then what? So it doesn't matter where we start, but then we should start as soon as possible, never late. So tolerance, yes, this is a very important point, which is very practically very difficult to imbibe, and says Trinatapi Sunichena Tadorapi Seshna Amanina Manadina Kirtane Sadahiniman. How should we chant the holy name in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street? So what is the specific thing in the straw of a straw or in the grass? Why is it compared to a grass? The humble nature. How does a grass behave? This Mataji?
Whenever it bends down, Mataji, it comes back.
Yeah. And whoever steps on it still bends. Yes. Achyutakesha Prabhu, what happens to a tree more tolerant than a tree? Why a tree compared to a tree?
Because there are a lot of people who pluck the leaves. There are a lot of people who try to, take the pulp out of it by, cutting it sometimes, or just keep pricking the tree without doing nothing, just to pass their time. They keep pricking, hurting the tree.
Yes, so they keep hurting the tree with weapons and stones and stick, as Prabhu said, and the tree just bend, or he doesn't even react, give shade and give fruit still. So that's what it is said. And devoid of all false prestige, should be ready to offer all respects to others. Such a mind, one can chant the holy name of Lord constantly. So this is very, 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 very difficult. Years and years, it's lived without moving. Yes. Very, very difficult to imbibe in life. Might be pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada can actually practically show us how to do it. But then really to apply this in life, it takes a lot of time. So in 5th sloka, he says how to remember Krishna at the time of death. And 6th, he says, Yam yama vapi smaran bhavam tijat ande kalevaram tam tamevaiti kaundeya sada tat bhava bhavidha. Whatever state of mind one remembers when he quits his body as son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. So that's general law at the time of death. That is one state of mind at the time of death. This determines our destination to the next life. So what should we do? Srila Prabhupada explained the best process, chanting Hare Krishna, so that we remember Krishna. This was established that transcendental absorption in Krishna's service assures next body to be spiritual and not material. And we should refuse that thinking anything will give the same result. No. As example is, if you take the ticket to Calcutta, you go right there. So you think of Krishna, you go to Krishna's world. You think of something else, go there. So how to make sure that one think of Krishna at the time of death? We have to practice remembrance during the life, not at the time of death. So quote the example of Bharat Maharaj becoming a deer. You know that story. right? What was the main reason Bharat Maharaj became the deer, or the whole story? I mean, why did it really happen? Okay, that's fine that he got attached to the deer and he forgot devotional service and all that. It's fine. But what do you think is the main reason why Bharat Maharaj went like that? Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, actually, he left everything. Like he's a king. He left everything and came to the forest to concentrate on God and do devotional service. But the whole purpose was not served once he got attached to the deer. Means he was more attached to deer. So that is the reason, Mataji.
That's fine. But when he was attached, but what was the main reason why he got attached to the deer?
Because
Yes.
Mataji, that deer did not have a mother. It was killed. So he thought he is the one who should take care of. He forgot that Krishna is the one who will take care. He thought he is the one who should take care of everything. He should do everything. That could be the reason, Mataji.
Yeah, but what could have saved Bharat Maharaj? If something was there, Bharat Maharaj could have been saved. He wouldn't have been neglecting his devotional duties. What is that?
If he would have served the deer thinking that he's serving Krishna, he would have been saved, Mataji.
Okay.
As a service to Krishna, if he was serving, I mean, taking care of the deer, then he would have been, yeah.
But still that attachment was there with the deer somehow. He had that attachment. So something would have prevented that attachment. What was that? Like in our case also, when we get distracted from spiritual life, what is going to save us? Save us from Maya, save us from, what is that strong thing?
Chanting, thinking of Krishna.
Thinking, chanting and come secondary. You're already in Maya. You're already disturbed, and you're, yes, Achidakesha Prabhu.
Devotee association.
Good, perfect. Yeah, devotee association. It's only association. And Bharat Maharaj didn't have any association. He left everything and went to the forest. He was alone there. That's the problem. The problem started there. Prabhupada says, never think that you can advance in Krishna consciousness or do bhakti alone. That's just an illusion. You won't be able to do. You might be, but you will be going down. You can't progress. You can't advance. You yourself compare. You came to Krishna consciousness and another person came to Krishna consciousness at the right time, same time. But after a few years, when you see that person would have taken initiation and would have become a nice teacher, or it's like completely advanced. Why? There's strong devotee association around him. You don't feel like getting up at Mangalarati, but when your friend, your spouse, or your someone, neighbor, someone around you, associate, devotees, friends, get up, you also feel like going. Or when you are not chanting, when they are chanting, they inspire to chant. When you are going into Maya, they pull you out. An example given is like local trains. We have all gone in local trains in Mumbai, Chennai, so crowded, local trains. So if you have to enter into the train, you don't have to do anything. Just have to stand near the platform and people keep pushing you and you just in. And when you have to get down your station, you just have to stand near the gate, near the entrance, where people just keep pushing you outside. So you don't have to take any effort. People push you inside and push you out. In the sense, we don't have to do anything if devotee association is there around us. Bharat Maharaj didn't have any devotee association. If he had some devotee association, some devotees, at least someone would have said, what are you doing? You're completely neglecting your devotional service. Okay, take care of the deer, as Mataji said, as service to Krishna, but then someone should be there to guide him. So SA for association is very, very important. Our Bhaktilada Beej grows and the strong pillar is association. Yes, Shriya Mataji. You want to add something?
Yes, Mataji, one question about association. So when we say devotee association, we have like some people are new in KC, some people are very senior, they're Maharaj. What do we really mean by association, and what should we take from them?
There are 6 aspects of association according to Nectar of Instruction by Sri Rupa Goswami. Does anyone know what are the 6 features of association? How do we associate? What are the 6 things? Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, was it offering gifts, taking gifts,
Yes.
offering food?
Yes.
prasadam, taking prasadam, and revealing mind in confidentiality.
And hearing, right? And hearing, yeah. So that's what dadadi pradigrihnadi guhyamakyadi prichati punkte bojadade chaiva shadvida priti lakshana. So priti lakshana, association, nectar of instruction, says, I think verse 4, he says, next Goswami says, dadadi pradigrihnadi, you can accept gifts, give gifts. Guhyamakyadi prichati, you can reveal your mind confidentially to nice devotees or your favorite or advanced devotees, and you hear from them. And then Bhunkte Bojade Cheva, you can give prasadam, accept prasadam. These are 6 types of exchange or association means. These are 6 things. Now, as Mother said, some are advanced, some are lower to us. So those who are advanced or senior to us, we take the association. We don't give them. We don't go and advise them. We take the association in the sense we accept gifts from them. We accept prasadam from them. We take advice from them or hear confidentially whatever they say. Or you have any problem, reveal your mind to only those devotees who are senior to you or advanced to you. Never reveal your mind to your peer group or somebody neophyte lower than you in Krishna consciousness. They now want to help you. So you need a mentor, somebody who's senior to you, and you take association, not give. Take from them. And peer is just to encourage you in devotional service. You can give and take from them. You can give prasadam, take prasadam from them. You can reveal your mind unless they're very confidentially very close to you, or unless they can help you. And neophytes, you should never take association. You should always give association. In this, so you understood. So that's the difference. In the sense, you should not get influenced by them. In the sense, you give them advice, but you don't take their advice. That's what association means, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Yes. I think you've already answered. I want to ask, what does taking and giving association mean? I mean,
So taking and giving means you aspire, you get inspired by their practice, or you take advice from them, and you can reveal your mind. That is how you take the advice. Taking association means you don't give advice to them, or you don't give suggestions. They give suggestions. There might be some stumbling blocks in your material life or spiritual life, especially spiritual life, and you reveal your mind to them, and they give you advice that you take it. On the sense, whatever advice they give, you have to imbibe it. You don't have to give anything in return. In the sense, you have to listen to that and then apply it in life. But then give association to neophytes means help them. Like if somebody is struggling to chant, you help them. Like I was like this in my initial days, and like this, you don't take from them. They say that, oh, I saw a movie yesterday. Can I tell you the story? No, no, you stop them. And then you tell about Krishna, or you tell about Krishna conscious things to them. That means giving association. But with seniors, you take association like that. Again, that. So association, yeah. So Bharat Maharaj didn't have association. The association in Ajamila. Ajamila was also alone in the forest. Even he didn't have an association. Ajamila was completely going into a wrong track. If some senior devotee was there, somebody around you, they will definitely save you. Right? When our Krishna conscious thing is little shaking and we are not going into Maya, we're not so interested, there'll be someone who need to pull you out from this. Someone, it might be online association, offline, whatever it is, we should get inspired by other devotees and feel that, oh, let me also serve Krishna like that. So association will really help us. And our Bhaktilada beach is like very tender. It has to grow around a strong stick, which is called association. The A for association is very, very important in practicing Krishna consciousness. So, Bharat Maharaj became a deer. That is one thing, association. But this is Krishna's plan. If he didn't become a deer, next life he won't become Jada Bharat, and he can't give transcendental advice to Rahuguna Maharaj. He became guru to Rahuguna Maharaj. So that is Krishna's will to happen. Okay. Tasma sarveshu kaleshu mamanasmara yutyacha. Mai arpita mano buddhir mame vaishasya asamshaya. Krishna says, Mam anusmara yutyacha. Krishna doesn't say, just sit and remember. No. You fight, remembering. Mam anusmara yutyacha. Thinking of Krishna, you should perform your prescribed duties. So always you should remember Krishna. And remembering may be better advised than fighting. But Krishna clears by saying that don't give up your prescribed duties. So throughout life, practice remembering Krishna by dedicating mental, intellectual, and physical activities in Krishna's service. Mental means thinking of Krishna. Thinking of Krishna means, it's, as Mother said, it's not possible, but we can chant the holy name. That's also thinking. Physically, we carry out our duty or whatever is dedicated to us. Intellectually, our mind and intelligence can be fixed in Krishna. How is fixing intelligence on Krishna means by studying scriptures. That is how you fix your intelligence in Krishna. And result is there's freedom from material contamination and surely will attain Krishna. So how to practice it? By constantly chanting Hare Krishna. And along with that, you have to do your prescribed duties. So we'll just have a quick breakout room, explain the connection between Bhagavad Gita chapter 7 and 8. Okay, you have to just tell the connection in the sense, not like complete elaborate explanation, just a small short breakout, 5 minutes, so that you know the connection, how is it connecting. And if you can quote the verse, that would be nice. Okay, I'll have a quick breakout room and come back. Hare Krishna everyone. So all are back. Okay. Okay, so what is the connection? So this can be a Bhakti Shastri question. That's why I made it as a breakout room. Okay, I think we are done here. Okay, so we'll take it from room number 1. Suresh Prabhu, Ramya Mati, Ruchi Mataji, Vidya Mataji. Yes.
Yes, Hare Krishna. What we discussed, what you told was 7.3 is the connection for the chapter 7, knowledge of the absolute, and the chapter 8. Means
Yes,
attaining. There it is says Sadi Bhuta Devam Mam Sadi Yagnancha Ye Viduhu Prayana Kale Pichamam Te Vidur Yukta Te Chetasaha Prayana Kale Chapimam. Means at the time of death, those who remembers me will attain me, he says, Lord says. In this connection, Arjuna asks in the 8th chapter different questions. What is Brahman? What is material manifestation? What are the demigods? Then Lord explains one by one. The 7th chapter is all about getting the faith, Dhrida that is the faith that the Supreme Personality is the Godhead or Lord Krishna, and how to remember him at the time of death. That is explained in chapter 8, Mataji.
Yes, so if you feel that 7.30 is the connecting link, and then he's going to how to attain, he's going to the 8th chapter. Okay, good. So same thing for room number 2, or anything extra to add? Something more to add?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
It's almost the same, Mataji. In chapter 7, Krishna has given us different kind of devotees. He's told us about different kind of devotees that come to him. But the purpose of all kind of devotees will go to the same goal, that is to Krishna at some point. And if they get proper association, of devotees, their bhakti or their level will increase, and they will become pure devotees at some point. But the aim of all these devotees is to remember Krishna at the time of death. That is the main purpose. And Krishna has said in chapter 8 how to remember him at time of death. So one of the processes by associating with devotees, and then so many examples we have heard from you also, Ajamil and Bharat Maharaj's examples, that why they were distracted and what was lacking, that was association. So
Yes.
that is how it is connected.
Okay, nice. Okay. Okay. Okay, so any other points to add? Okay, so you can expect in the module 2 questions like this, the connecting link between the chapters. So last time when a senior batch had these questions, it was like they were not prepared, but nothing to prepare. Like, some slokas in chapter 7, and almost every time the last sloka of the chapter will be giving a connecting link to the next chapter. So it's like a flow. Krishna is giving it like a flow. So 7.30 is the last sloka that takes you to the next chapter. Now 8th chapter, last sloka will connect you to the 9th chapter. So if you get the meaning of the last sloka, then it's easy to connect between chapters. Okay, so in that part, and whatever questions I'm asking, this Achyuta and Madhusudana, all this is Bhakti Shastri level questions. You see the closed questions, you'll know. So once I finish chapter 8, we'll give you the first open book question for module 2. Okay. Okay, then I think we can end here. Never know any more questions or anything to add.
Can I add something, Mataji? I feel
Yes.
chapter 7, all the slokas are connecting to the 8, what we say, like, to remember Krishna. 7.1 says practice yoga, 7.7, like, truth superior. Then 7.9 says I am the penance of all ascetics. So it is kind of, building to the Prayana Kale. That's what I feel. Just wanted to add.
Yes, right. So not only the last sloka, but Mother says in the previous ones also, yes, it's connected. Definitely all the chapter, but then the main link will be from the last sloka, but you can connect to definitely throughout the sloka, the 7th chapter. Again, it will be mentioned. Now 8th chapter, again, he will keep on mentioning, and then the Bhakti part will come where 9th chapter starts with that. So yes, there's a connecting link between the chapters. We can actually tell it in that way also, put it in that way also. Okay, much. Hare Krishna, everyone. I think we can end here.
Krishna.
One question, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
how to understand this, Mataji? This we heard that in earlier chapters that those who are atheists and those who do not have faith will take the birth of trees. Now here we are saying that the trees are having so much of patience, and we are taking as a good example.
No, trees, atheists.
Yeah, those who don't have faith in Krishna, or those who
Where is that? Is it said that they become trees? They,
I heard somewhere in this Mataji classes.
they can go to animal form also. But trees, Garuda Puran says, what I heard is saying that if someone expose the bodily parts, like sometimes like it's not allowed actually to be not dressed properly. So what happens? They become trees next life, because the trees have barks, no, and you shed the barks. So it is said that, and they don't wear a dress properly. And you know that story of Yamalarjuna, like Nalakuvera and Manigriva, the Damodar Leela happened, right? Krishna went in between the two trees, Arjuna trees, and then they were actually naked when Narad Muni and Lord Shiva was passing through, and Narad Muni cursed them to become trees in Nanda Baba's courtyard. But at the same time, they got blessing that Krishna will deliver them. So that's one example. So trees are basically because they have done some sinful activities of exhibitionism, in the sense showing off their body parts in public, and that's why they become trees. And yeah,
not
so
the atheist, Mataji. Yes.
Huh?
Not the atheist or
atheist. I'm not sure about that. Atheist may or may not be. If the atheistic people behaves in such way, then they also can become. They can go to animal form, because why? They got a human form and still they don't believe in the existence of God, and they go against this. Atheists are like that, no? They go against God. You got a human form and you're not using it in the right way. Definitely material nature will give you lower forms. So yes, probably possibility of trees, birds, reptiles, all that lower forms can be there too. We can't be sure, like based on their karma, it happens. Karmana deva netrina. Krishna only knows what life they'll get, but possibility is there, yes.
No, but Mataji, does it mean exhibitionism? It can be a tree, but again, tree. The metaphor is saying, like, trees are tolerant. So the goodness.
Yeah. So there is goodness also in the trees, no? Goodness is there, yes. So that is, and the trees can be like, see, if in the tree itself there is tamal tree, there is something called the tulsi also can be compared to a plant or in a tree species. So, which is more glorious, no? Tulsi is always offered to Krishna. So in different ways, based on their pious activities also. And the trees, Yamalarjuna trees, Nalakuvera and Manigriva were born in Vrindavan, in Krishna's Nanda Baba's courtyard. So fortunate to be touched by Krishna and got delivered, no? That is also possible. So in one tree can become the Siddha Bakul, where Haridas Thakur sat and chanted the holy name. So trees in Vrindavan, they say it's Vaishnavas. Some trees are there in Nidhivan, where Rasalila of Krishna happened in Vrindavan. They are said to be gopis, or they are said to be Vaishnavas, because trees in Vrindavan is also very glorious, special. People do parikrama around the trees, and they consider them as devotees. Because of some karma, they got a form of tree, but they did some punya, that's why they are in Vrindavan. So like that, yes, Mataji, we can't draw a line between punya and papa, that only Krishna knows, and he gives the body accordingly. Right?
So that means it may be silly what I'm saying, but exhibitionism can be diluted if they're becoming trees.
Yeah, definitely, yes. So there's different ways or different ways of putting it, and there's different reasons, but we can't be specific. This is the reason why they become like this. No? There might be many multiple reasons, and which only Krishna knows. So that's in his hands. We just pray, and that's why who was that? Jayananda Prabhu, who started the first Rath Yatra for Srila Prabhupada. He used to read Krishna book to an apple tree. Everyone used to tease him. Hey, what are you doing? You're reading Krishna book to a tree. He's like, that's also spirit soul. Because of some karma, he's in the form of a tree, but he's giving fruits which is offered to Krishna. It is said you offer any flower to Krishna, that particular tree gets benefited in next life, because that's been used in Krishna service. You got it? That's why you should collect all the flowers and then offer that you're giving it the chance to that tree to come to human form, or in the sense you chant the holy name loudly in a garden or in a park, or anywhere the trees or the plants also are spirit soul, they hear the Harinam. And so these are the different ways of delivering them. When what Haridas Thakur said to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that you loudly chant the holy name, even the trees will get delivered. So that can be done. Okay, Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you for joining.